Hi team, welcome to the last part of our series ML with Spark using Scala. In this part, we are going to look into the Spark ML module of a Spark framework. To give an practical example for this module, I had taken a data set of a Titanic. Reason behind choosing Titanic data set is it contains different variants of a data. It contains basically numerical data as well as some string data. So we are going to look into the data pre-processing steps, then some ML based practices we should use, and then how to apply the Spark ML model. So let's start. So in the if you see in this particular shell, I had imported some Sparks library. So these particular packages are coming from the Spark SQL. So these contains the helper functions to pre-process data very quickly. Now this second import is coming from the Spark ML package, which contains classification models as well as some regression models, and there are some guidelines that are being given by Spark while applying these models with some standard practices. So it has provided some classes called as a pipeline that we are going to see in depth with an example. So now in this shell, I am importing, I am basically specifying the path from which we want to read the data. So it is in a CSV format. And if you see what I am doing here, first step of defining data, giving a structuredness to the data is by creating some schema array. So what schema array contains is for every column in the CSV, I want to give an data type to that and whether it is nullable or not. So from this particular schema array, we are explicitly specifying that for every column in my data set, these are the data types. By default, Spark can also detect the data types for each and every one column, but as a good practice, we should be explicit while specifying the data's definition from our problem statement. So what I am doing, if you see this particular schema array, I had supplied it while doing the read of a CSV file. So what will happen on this line? We will get an reference, we get a Spark object as a reference for this particular CSV with mentioned schema. Now I am giving one terminal operation called as a show, which gives me top n rows of the data, which are 20. So if you see, this is my data set which I had read. Now there are helper function like info and describe in a Python. We also have similar function in a Spark. Now if I want to find out some distinct values of particular column in pandas, using pandas package of a Python, we were able to do it by using unique function. But in a Spark, what we have to do is first we have to select that particular column and then apply a distinct function. So this particular syntax is being followed in a Spark while doing some data analysis. So there are minor differences with respect to pandas. So if you see now, what I wanted to do here with cabin column was to replace not any values, basically null values, by some value which I wanted to apply. So in pandas, this was the syntax we were using. In the Spark, what I'm doing is df, basically data frame dot na, fill with value u for a column cabin. And what I'm doing along with that is I am picking first character of cabin to pick. So basically, rather than pulling or getting all the data, so if you see the cabin, it has three characters. So I am picking only first character here. So that is about the cabin. But now let's say if we wanted to apply some custom function. So this was the substring function being provided by Spark only. But if we wanted to apply some of our custom function, then in a Spark there is a concept of a user-defined function where we can write our own function custom logic, and that particular function we can wrap it under a UDF function of a Spark, and this particular UDF can be supplied to the Spark for a data processing. So if you see in this example, what I am trying to do is to first of all pick the ticket number by taking last index, last element of a split function, whatever we have got, and then for that numeric value, what we are doing, we are picking only first three numbers. So this is a custom logic. We can, as per your project requirement, you can write your own custom function. So here in this example, I tried to cover one UDF example. Now, if post that whatever UDF I am getting, I am passing it to the particular column to which I want to apply this logic for. So if you see in this, I had passed substring function to the cabin column, tried to apply the substring function to the cabin column. Similarly, I am applying here the custom UDF which I had defined to the ticket column of my data frame. After that, what I am doing is basically trying to cap out the record set of a ticket number which are less than 5 into one category. Here in this particular row, I am using some different syntax of a sc.broadcast. So underneath, Spark do the data processing by pushing this particular code to each and every node which is present in the cluster. So if we don't use this broadcast, what will happen? Code from all these distributed cluster will come to the executor node, and then processing will happen, which is very resource intensive, and it will create load only on our executor service. Rather than doing that, what we do here, we are simply migrating this particular data, the filter list, to all the distributed clusters, and this particular thing will be pushed to each and every node of my setup of a Spark, and then this particular function will be applied. So this particular concept of a broadcast is not only it is not specific to the ML, but it is in general in a Spark for a efficient data processing. So here in this example, we had seen a UDF as well as the broadcast. So in the embarked column, what we had done, we are doing some fill NA of basically wherever there is a null, we are putting it by value S. Now the next one is a title, where we are doing processing of long names to some known short forms like MRS to MS, MR to MR, MRS to MRS. So this kind of thing we are doing. So if you see, I am here, since I know this data and it is very small in a size, I am doing broadcast first and then applying that the function to cap out the data which I have. So best practices, whenever you know what data you want to throttle for or target for or transform for, use the broadcast function. Similarly, in the age column, here what logic I tried to apply is, first I had created new feature called as a class and title. It is a combination of a class and title. Then I tried to do group by over this. So basically idea is to apply normal group by for a age column with respect to P, class and title. And then for this particular data which we are getting, we are trying to find a mean age. And wherever there is a null we are getting, we are replacing that particular thing by mean age for that particular P, class and title. And in that in this particular post this processing, what we are applying is one of the pre-processing algorithm given by Spark called as a bucketizer. So what idea behind the bucketizer is, it basically creates the buckets or label out the data with respect to buckets we have supplied. So here if you see, what I am trying to do here is from 10 to 60 I am creating a bucket with jump of a 5. So after doing that, I am creating bucketizer. It will create let's say 10, then 15, then 20, 25, this kind of a labels. And what we are doing, we are passing it as a passing a age column to apply this label, and then we are saying that create new column age categorized, which will have this bucketizers being applied. Similarly, what we are doing here in this fellow column is we are generating new family size column, which is basically and sum of sibling plus parent child. and then we are checking whether there is a single alone member in the data set which we have got or not. So these are the custom things which are very specific to Titanic, does not need to be applied to all the data set which we are processing, but these are some data processing uh, elements which we apply. So after applying all this, this is what data we are getting. So if you see the columns like age, so this particular thing, if you see, it must have been null, and that particular thing is replaced by some mean value with combination of p class and title which we had taken. And these are the new features which we have generated, like age category using bucketizer, fair categorized with I think quantile categorizer. In this example I had applied, it is same like a bucketizer, only it will work with respect to the quantile of a number of data which we have. And then these are the new features which we had created. So after doing this, what I am doing, I am focusing only on the column which I wanted to, which I had pre-processed, or I wanted to use in my model. So here I had eliminated some of the column and I had selected only the columns which will be part of my machine learning problem statement. So here our target is to predict the is survived or not, and these are the features which you have written. But if you see in this particular data set, we have some string data for data columns, but which are, we can say, rather than saying string, they are categoric in a nature. So ideal practice which we follow on the categorical variables in machine learning is, first we apply the label encoder with respect to sklearn, and then if we want to apply additional thing there, we apply one-hot encoder as well. So in this example, what I try to do is the same thing. First I am applying the label encoder. So label encoder in sklearn, so Spark has a string indexer, so it basically applies 0 1 2 3 4 number to each and every category by using string encoder. Only the practice which is bit different is, like, we have to specify input column to which column we want to apply this, and what is the output column which we want to echo for after doing the pre-processing. So this is a string encoder which I am applying, and if you see, I had created a array of a string encoders first. So after applying this string encoder, I have some one-hot encoder columns, and along with that we are also selecting this string encoded columns as well, and then we are applying the one-hot encoder on the all data which we have. So to capture whatever data pre-processing which I was explaining here, so what one-hot encoder differently do in a Spark is, it tried to process all the data in form of a vector. So let's say I had cabin column which has category like A, B, C, D, E, and basically you can consider the distinct categories here. Then we applied some string indexing which converted it into 1 2 3 4, and post that if we apply one-hot encoding, it will create an vector. So if you see, I had applied an vector, I had tried to show here a vector. So there are 3 distinct categories in my example. So for each and every category, if I am on, let's say on this particular example, I had 1, so only the first member of this vector is marked as a 1 and rest of them are as a 0. So this is an one-hot encoding processing which happens. So if what Spark behind the scene uses while when we show this particular data is, it rather than showing all the columns, it shows only the index for which value is 1. So just to give a quick glance what I am trying to say here, so if you see here, it is trying to show that 8th index is marked as a 1 and the distinct values are these many. So now there is, as I told in our initial discussion, there is a concept of pipeline. So this particular concept lies in sklearn also, but in a Spark data processing, this is more preferred. So whatever data we have processed till now, so if you see what I'm trying to do, I had gathered all those transformed data sets. So this is an indexing and this is an one hot encoding into one, and then I had gathered them into a pipeline. So what will happen behind the scene when we will do this dot transform on the pipeline? So pipeline will basically apply all these transformers to each and every column which we had specified on the selected data frame one by one. So if you see, this was my initial data frame, and for each feature I had given some set of transformers. So let's say on a feature 1 we had only selected to apply a string indexer. On feature 2 we had selected only to apply a one hot encoder, and let's say on the nth feature we had selected to apply a string indexer and then one hot encoder. So these will be executed sequentially with pipeline object in only one line. So if you see, I had written only one line to transform this particular data set. So after this pre-processed, we will get basically after pipeline processing, we will get only one data frame which will have this cooked data of a pre-processing stage. For this particular data frame which had came out of a pipeline processing, we can apply various machine learning model. But in a Spark, whatever machine learning model we applies for, they expect only one column. So to wrap all these particular multiple columns into only one column, there is a concept of a vector assembler which do similar kind of thing to wrap all the data set into one vector. So that's what here we are using first, and vector assembler which will generate one features column, and to this we will this particular column we will pass to the ML model. So now after basically this is an preview I tried to show after applying the pipeline stage. So this is the output which we got, where some of the things we had applied only string indexing and some of the things we had applied the one hot encoding. So now what I was saying, that I had created vector assembler. So it will take all these columns as an input which are generated from the pipeline stage, and it will echo only one column called as a features, which will have all these columns data in a vector representation. After that, whatever data coming out of this vector assembler, we will pass it to the ML model. So similarly, this is sounding like a pre-processing stage which I was saying. So that's why I had created another pipeline object, and in that pipeline I am first applying the vector assembler and then my machine learning model. So here I had taken gradient boost classifier. You can apply various model classification models. So there are multiple classification model present in a Spark ML module, and this is what the pipeline will be. So now before applying this machine learning model, what I tried to do here is to apply an hyperparameter tuning using this param grid builder class present in a Spark, where for this model there are certain features. So let's say there is a step size, max step and max iter. So I tried to supply different values to this particular model's feature here, and I had created one evaluation matrix. So here in this example I had tried to focus on accuracy. We can apply precision recalls while doing this. So here I had taken multi-class classification evaluator. There are different, or we can write our own as well. Now in a sklearn, normally the first step before applying any model, machine learning model, is the first we do train test split. So what Spark has provided is one class called a train validation split, where we specify a ratio like a sklearn train test split only, and in this train test split we are passing the param grid, the hyperparameter tuning which we want to apply on which model. So basically here I am passing the pipeline object and with what evaluator we want to apply it for, and then I am executing the fit function. So this will take care of all the things which we apply separately in a sklearn model. Post this hyperparameter and all the machine learning fit, we will get an object called as a validation model, and in that validation model there will be one attribute called as a best model, which will contain the best fit which we got for this data set with applied evaluation matrix. And for this best model, I am here just echoing whatever the best parameters has been chosen by this model. And to echo out what was the score of this model, so it was near about 80%, and then the parameters which were being pulled out for our best model. So these are like multiple things which we are doing, but to summarize it in a very simple representation of an image, so what we are doing here is nothing but first we are creating data frame, then we are applying some transformer like string indexer, one-hot encoder to convert our data into proper state before passing it to the machine learning model, and then we are applying our estimator, which is nothing but the machine learning model, and post that we are doing some evaluation. So this is what and normal practices which we follow in machine learning with Spark. So similar classes are present in Python language, which is a PySpark. But yeah, since this was with respect to Scala, so I tried to cover an examples with Scala here. The concept of UDF, broadcast, pipeline, all these are present in a PySpark as well. So that is it. Hope you like this video, and please share your feedback if you want to know more about this. Thank you.